101, baby. New York's hip hop and R&B. Hitmaker is in the building today.
Yo, thank you for having me, yo.
They tried to shut us down. There was a fire alarm in the.
But we the biggest.
Yo, we the biggest. I was like, yo, fuck a fire. We doing Hitmaker today.
Nah,
we gotta get up there.
That.
How are you, my love?
I'm good, man. Just blessed, making my rounds and
making your money.
Yeah.
So, you know, the crazy thing is that the last time we did this
was a minute ago. Remember you hooked me up with Solange or something? It was a minute ago.
Wait, I hooked you up with Solange? I didn't remember that.
I was like a kid. It was like in 2008
Tell me
when
what
I was
happened.
Young Berg, and I went and I came to see you, and you were like, so who you feeling? I think I had the song The Business out at the time or whatever, and you like, who you feeling? I'm like, I think Solange is kind of fire, and then you like, oh, we gotta make that happen. We gotta make that happen, and then she ended up hitting me randomly or whatever. That's like 10 years ago.
And then what happened?
Nothing.
I thought this was going to end with a juicy story.
Nah, nothing juicy. You know
nothing
what I'm saying?
happened?
Nah,
but you connected somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So I was like, yo, well, I was trying to figure out what year it was, but it was Sexy Lady was 2008,
yeah,
right?
2008.
So you were Young Berg.
Yeah.
You were Sexy Lady.
Oh, man.
You were how old?
I was probably like 20.
20.
Yeah.
Just getting your money.
Yeah.
Your life was changing.
Yeah.
And now.
Oh, now I'm a Hitmaker now.
Yeah.
Evolution, man.
Yeah, but and the funny thing is, because the interview was so long ago, I was trying to remember, like, what did we talk about? What was it? And I don't remember exactly the words or the topics, but I remember that we had fun.
Nah, we had a vibe.
And we had a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that I felt like you were like a star. Like you had that. It's funny how you could like that years could pass and you don't remember the details, but you remember like the feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's up.
Of the vibe. And clearly, you are a star.
Yeah, we here now. It's a real career, man. It's a long time. That was like, almost 14 years ago.
And I know you've done a shitload of interviews since then, but give me, because I haven't seen you, give me the quick, like, so after that,
okay,
so you 13 Solange calls, that all happens. You had a big smash record.
Right.
From then to now, what is the fast forward that had happened?
From there, I had a couple more records. I had The Business, and I had me and Ray J did Sexy Kinda. That sold like 10 million records. That was
Did that sell 10 million?
Yeah, that was a
big ass record.
And then from there, like I went through trials and tribulations, and I kind of fell back. And like a lot of people didn't know that I was writing and producing my own music or whatever.
But when you say trials and tribulations, don't speed over that.
Not just the normal BS. Like I grew up in the World Star era, you know what I'm saying? So I took a lot of, you know what I'm saying, darts and bullets, you know what I'm saying, for everybody else to go through it. Now the normal shit that go on right now, minus, you know what I'm saying, but it was more trivialized, and like I was the first one going through a bunch of crazy stuff. So from there, I fell back a little bit, and I just had to reposition myself in the game. And like I realized that I'm like, yo, like I keep doing this music, and I'm making hot shit, but they just probably might not want it from me to be the messenger that delivers the music because of everything that happened in the past. So I refocused. I ended up doing like Tamar Braxton, Love and War, The One, and like all this other stuff, and that flew me out back to LA. And then Love and Hip Hop happened, and then from there, like it was dope doing that because like I mean it was trash but dope at the same time because I was working with like Puff and I was working with Nicki Minaj, and like at that point like Nicki was like what's it called where you like don't really want to say it but you like a guilty pleasure like type of vibe. Like she would watch Love and Hip Hop,
right? And
she just gave me the green light, like yo, you can say my name on there, you know what I'm saying, let them know that we working. Like so I'm like, man, I'm just gonna take this as a promotional tool, you know what I'm saying, and let the world know what I'm doing. And from there
it moved.
Shit kind of exploded.
I love it. Says a lot about you because the fact that she had to hit you to give you the permission.
Yeah.
That says a lot about how you work with your artists and how you protect the relationships and all that.
Everything with her got to be super top secret.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a few people you could play with, and it's a few people that you can't play with, and she on that list. And we were really locked in at the time. Like I think I did like 6 records on that Pink Print album. So like I was in the studio every day. She just gave me her studio. Like yo, lock in, do whatever you want to do. We caught a crazy vibe together, and like we actually became like super close. And she was like, yo, do whatever you want to do. Just keep making records. So that turned me up.
What's the favorite of that batch of Nicki records that you made?
Crazy thing is it's called Favorite. It's her featuring Jeremiah. That's one of my joints. And then man, Want Some More. Like man, that whole album's fire.
Yeah, too many. Sure. I can't imagine the publishing checks on 6 joints on the Pink Print album. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Listen, I know it's a drop in the bucket. I know you got many more since then, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's a big drop in the big bucket.
Nah, it's a big drop in the bucket, and it opened the door for me. Like, I don't think I'm here talking to you saying I sold 80 million records and 10 billion streams without that, you know?
Wow. But when you make a transition like that, right? So everybody knows you as, you made it very seamlessly.
No, it was crazy. It wasn't really seamless. Like, all right, so
From the outside, it seems seamless.
This what happened. I ended up being on Twitter at the time. I was living in LA doing the normal guy stuff. House full of 5-6 different dudes, spending 30 grand a month on a house and just doing that. So I'm like, man, I gotta figure something out, man. And then from there, I ended up meeting Rico Love, and Rico Love was like the first person. He was like, yo, you gotta change your name. And I'm like, well, damn, for real? He like, yeah, you got to change your name. It's a stigma attached to that name. You got to get away from that name. So, like, he really put his arm around me. He would have me in Miami at Circle House, and, like, I'll see Fat Joe, and he like, yo, Fat Joe, meet Christian. And Fat Joe like, nigga, that's Young Bird. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really Christian, you know what I'm saying? And then as time evolves, man, Fat Joe's my brother. Bought me Terror Squad chain. I done did so many hits for Fat Joe or whatever, so it's just a good vibe, man.
What's the biggest Fat Joe hit?
I think probably yes, ass up, face down, the one with Cardi B and we did that together.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It's a pretty great one. So that makes us like family because, you know, Joe's also my brother.
Exactly.
So we're like step brother and sister, I think, or something.
Whatever it is, I'm happy to be in it. I'm happy to be in the bloodline for real.
You also, what is the timeline? Take me back to the timeline when you were signed to DMX's label.
Yeah, so damn.
That was way before. I mean, clearly.
It was Bloodline. I think I was probably like 14 years
old.
old.
Were you Youngberg or you Iceberg?
I was Iceberg.
You were Iceberg.
Yep, and like that was a crazy situation because like I had like a bidding war almost going on at the same time. Like Rockefeller wanted to sign me. Shout out to Hip Hop and Hove and everybody that was over there. Then X, like, you know, X was the biggest thing in the world at the time, and like he just kidnapped me. Like, no, shorty, you're my artist. No,
and you were like, okay.
Nigga gave me a dog and was like, yo, take the dog everywhere. I don't ever want to see you without the dog. So
yo,
like,
your X imitation is not terrible. It's pretty good.
I'm all in a Def Jam building with the dog. The dog is using the bathroom in front of Leor's office, and they like, no, that's
God.
Iceberg. He's good. Don't worry about it. Like X, I love X, man. Rest in peace to X, man, for real.
What happened to the dog?
Gave the dog away, man.
Oh, where's the dog now?
I have no clue. None.
I hope the dog is still with, because that was dog years. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
I don't know. He might be gone by now, but man, shout out to X, man. I actually got to see X, you know what I'm saying, before he passed and everything came full circle, and we actually got to do a couple records. So X is gonna drop another project, and they've been reaching out to my lawyers. So like, I got a record with.
So you
X.
got those songs?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's crazy.
You probably got crazy shit in the vault.
Oh nah. Don't nobody want to have an auxiliary chord challenge with me. I'm gonna light them up.
Let's do it. Come on, who's going against you in the auxiliary challenge versus Hitmaker? Who's the other person?
I don't think nobody wants any smoke, but like if people have been saying like a couple names to me, like Mustard,
okay,
or my guy London on the track, and I got mad respect for both of them, and I actually have hits with both of them already, so it's kind of like, I don't know. They might not be one. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke.
Just say it.
They don't want no smoke.
Say it.
They don't want that smoke with me.
No smoke.
Nah, negative.
I mean, your catalog is long.
Nah, it's pretty extensive. Like I got records that people don't even know I did. Whether it's John by Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. Shout out to Ayo, the producer, my brother. We did that. Or Jaded, Drake, or whatever. And just different. No Stylist, French Montana, and Drake. My tags are not on these songs, and people don't even know. So like, I got sneak attack, but I'm coming out to Sexy Lady.
Oh, you
off
thought
the
this
rip.
out through. You got a plan. You've already.
Nobody wants to smoke with me, Angie. I'm promising you.
You're like Busta Rhymes. You know nobody wants to battle Busta Rhymes.
Nah, they don't, and they don't want it. Yo, this new heat that
You're
I
like
got
the
on
producer Busta Rhymes,
bro. Shout out to Busta. This new records that I got on this album, crazy.
Really?
Yes, he's cooking up right now. Something crazy.
That makes me happy.
Nah, I love Bus, man. Like Bus is a different type of dude. Like I think he's like the DJ Khaled of rappers. Like, cause Bus will just call you at any time. Like, yo, King, I need this, I need that. And I'm like, bro, Bus, I'm in LA, like, bro, but Bus don't never sleep, it feel like. But he stand up. That's my guy.
It's crazy because you've had this evolution, and a lot of artists can't do that.
Right.
Or they don't find the courage to do that also, because it takes a little courage to the fact that you had a name before, even though you went through your things and there was maybe you didn't feel like it represented what you wanted to represent. It's still hard to walk away with something that got some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you really kind of just like You did that with some courage. I think it takes courage.
I ain't tripping, like I've been through my shit, but I still like, I'm just gonna tax you. You like, if you talk bad about me in the past, I'm just gonna add a little extra something on that invoice. You know what I'm saying? And we can get past it. It's not a big deal.
Handled it? Is that how you
just
handled
sprinkle
it?
a couple of extras on the invoice and we
Really?
Gucci. Yeah.
So you've actually done that. Worked with somebody who talked about you crazy when back then.
Yeah, like Gucci, man, it got mad Youngberg punchlines, and I've got several hits with Gucci, and I love Gucci, and like we worked together. But you charged him. Yeah, of course. I was vice president of Atlantic Records at the time, so like we were doing a bunch of records together.
Well, that's amazing.
Nah, for sure.
Are you at the end of, like, what do your friends call you, by the way?
Chris.
Yeah. So are you at the end of changing your name? Because you've had 3 names now.
Nah, I call myself Puff Maker sometimes because I'm like, I said Puff I was going to be the Diddy of this generation. And like, I really set out to do that. And I feel like I changed the sound, like how I sample and I reflip all these different songs that I grew up on and was able to bring them back. And like, even right now with Wale Angles with Chris Brown or Young Blue Baddest, I sample On My Mind and I sample when I Puff joint. So consciously, I just be, but I don't know, he probably don't like that. So I'll just be talking shit.
Wait, what is the name again?
Puff Maker.
Puff Maker? No, he definitely doesn't like that.
I know, yo.
He definitely.
I be adding him and talking shit on the ground. Like,
but he needs that little. He needs that sometimes. I think that probably motivates him also.
He's forever motivated, man. Shout out to Puff.
Yeah, you cite him and Khaled.
Yeah.
Right, as your 2 like biggest influences,
for
inspirations.
Sure. And the craziest thing that happened, I think New Year's Eve, like 2 years ago, we were at Khaled's house. Joe took me to Khaled's house, and he's like, there's Puff Daddy, there's DJ Khaled, and now it's Hitmaker. And they all saluted me and was like, oh, yeah, you did that. And Puff was there too. So that was a real like big moment in my career.
How do you handle that moment? Because to me, you have 2 sides, right? You have like a very cool, humble kind of side, but then you also have I will talk my shit crazier than everybody in the room side.
Yeah, I mean.
So in that moment, how do you handle that?
In that moment, I was just like, I don't know. I took a couple shots of 42. I might have talked my shit a little bit or whatever. But you got to understand, I'm around the biggest shit talkers in the game.
Right.
Like Khaled, Joe, and Puff at the same time. Like, that's too much, for real. That's too much.
So you turn into, are you humble Hitmaker in that time?
Yeah, I'm at DJ Khaled's like estate, you know what I'm saying? Big house. Different. I'm like, all right, yeah, I got a little money, but I ain't got DJ Khaled money, so let me go ahead and fall back a little bit, man, for real. But it was just an honor to hear like them say that, for real.
That's so dope.
Hell yeah.
But you feel like you have, because I think you've said this, that you have kind of surpassed them in a certain space, in a certain way.
Not really. I always pop my shit, but I'm not gonna say I surpassed them because they the biggest, but like they like mentors. But like I aspire to be bigger than them, so I won't sit here and say to you like I think I make better records than whatever or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in the game. It's not specifically this person or that person or whatever, but like I just aspire. I think that I'm the next generation of that. So where they took it, I always got to be thinking to take it even bigger. You know what I'm saying? Because they laid the blueprint down for it.
By the way, that's how they think.
Oh, they think they better than me. They don't want to get my shit. Yeah.
No, I'm saying they think they better than everybody. They always have.
Nah, for sure.
Even when maybe they weren't yet, they always thought that same type of way.
That's the vibe I'm in right now. But like I gotta show love and respect because you know the next thing Joe would be calling my phone like Hitmaker, my brother. You say you better than DJ Khaled? I'm like, you know, maybe I don't know.
That's so funny. I would like to ask you, because I saw this when we were talking about other producers. I saw this Mustard Studio Rules.
Oh, wow.
Did you see this? Did you get a wind of this?
Yeah, I checked it out.
What did you think?
Well, I've actually worked with Mustard and been around him, so I understand it. But I think if you don't understand who his personality is, a little, like, outrageous.
It's a little outrageous. I thought it was funny. I think people take shit too seriously sometimes.
For sure. It's definitely funny.
It's definitely funny. He said you can't come to the studio if you're ugly. But then he says, I'm not just talking about looks. If your energy is ugly and you're...
Oh, he cleaned that one up?
He did. He said this. He says it's an updated list for all you haters on the internet. He said if your energy ain't right, stay your ugly ass home. Your soul is what's going to shine through. So he cleaned that up. He said if you ain't hit the gym, go to fuck home. And he said this rule was to motivate. Anyway, he broke it down. What are your rules for the studio?
Wow.
Do you have rules?
Well, yeah.
Unsaid rules, perhaps.
Weirdly, yeah. Like I don't like. I don't like people eating in a control room where I'm working. You know, like somebody could just come in there and then like this person will just start eating or whatever, and like it'll stank the room up. I don't want no stank energy in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Bring no fried fish in the room.
Yeah, you can't just eat boiling crab. You know what I'm saying? in my session, like, nah, that's not gonna happen.
Has anybody tried to do that, and have you had to stop the session?
Of course.
Does anybody want to share or no?
Of course not.
Okay, fine. All right, fine.
But I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm
what
pretty
about
chill.
weed? What about?
I smoke, so I can't hate on that. My formula to go to the studio: I smoke, I drink tequila, and I leave with 10 songs. And by the time I wake up in the morning, I might not remember the songs, and I'll press play and be like, "Oh shit, we made some shit last night. This is crazy." But I don't care what you do. Like I'm from that era where it's like, man, if you want to go smoke crack cocaine outside and come in here, as long as we get this damn song done, I don't care what you got going on. I'm for real. Like, I want the hit at the end of the day. Like, that's all that matters. Like, go do whatever your vice is. I don't care what you want to do, but as long as we make a hit, that's what's up.
So no rules is the rule.
Yeah.
Minus don't bring nothing smelly, and you have a scent sensitivity.
Yeah. But it's like, yo, even Mustard rule, like how he cleaned that up or whatever. He really meant like if you ugly, don't come in the studio.
You think so? You think he really meant that?
But that's subjective though. Like, how do we know? Like, my taste might not be, you know what I'm saying, somebody else's taste.
If you ugly to him.
See, now that's foul. Like he's a wild boy. But it's his studio, so ultimately, it's my studio, so I call the shots. You know what I'm saying?
So in yours, no rules except for the don't bring nothing smelly in the room.
Yeah, and no sleeping.
Okay.
You know, like how you could be in there and you've been working for 12 hours, and then like the homies might smoke like 20 blunts and be sleeping. Nah, wake up. It's gonna be water. It's gonna be something. You can't sleep in my session at all, for real.
Ain't no sleeping. No sleeping and no smelly shit.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that's good. 2 rules right there.
Exactly.
Understood. Okay. And then the one thing I wanted to ask you, aside from yourself, or you could include yourself, who do you think the top 5 producers in the game right now are? You don't have to be
all like the new guys, or just in general, just as a whole.
I think currently,
me, Mustard, London on the track. Shout out my guy OG Parker. And then me again. Yeah. That's how I feel. For real.
That's so good. All right, so let's talk about what's happening right now.
Let's get it.
You got a lot going on right now. What is the next phase of Hitmaker?
So what's crazy is like 4.5 years ago, I had a bunch of records. I did like Big Sean, Bounce Back, and a bunch of Chris Brown records. And like I came and I was just talking my talk, and I'm like, yo, these executives, man, they want me inside the building. Like, they want me to I'm gonna be the biggest executive in the game. And I didn't have nobody telling me that at the time, but I had all the executives working with me. And from there, it turned into Ryan Press, who's like a mentor to me. He hit me. He was like, yo, I seen your interview. Like, you want to be in the building? I'm like, yeah. He like, I'm set up a meeting with Craig Kalman and Julie Greenwald for you. I went there and I told Craig my whole spiel. I'm like, yo, like, I'm the next Puff Daddy. I'm the next Irv Gotti. Like, I'm actually making these records inside and out. I actually have all the relationships with this talent. They gave me the job at Atlantic. I was able to make... I did a bunch of #1 records at Atlantic. It was very successful for both of us. But towards the end, our relationship kind of got a little bit rocky, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna tell the truth. So I'm in an A&R meeting, right? And I'm too on both sides of the game, like, because they gave me. Are your
people getting nervous? Your people are getting nervous.
Yeah.
Listen, it's part of history at this point.
Exactly. So I had a lot of deals with Atlantic. Like, I had my executive deal, a song deal, I had an artist deal, and then they gave me a label deal. So like, I wore a bunch of different hats, and I seen them offer somebody more money than they gave me that wasn't as credible, that put in the work that I put in, and I was just like, yo, like, this kid doesn't even have a mixtape. He has one song, and you want to give him $10 million? Like, what are we talking about here? So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and from there, like, our relationship kind of just started getting a little distant. So
did you go to them with that exact verbiage?
I went bad. Like, I'm talking about, like, I went bad. I'm like, yo, I on some like Kanye. I'm like, yo, give me $7 million or I'ma quit. Like, I literally told Craig and Julie, like, yo, did exact words. Right. And from there, I was like, yo, well, look, this is how I really feel. if y'all really care about me and y'all gave me this money, why not invest into me? We're paying to put me inside a studio. Let's just make my own Hitmaker studio, like how you gave Drama, or you and Drama partnered up for Mean Streets in Atlanta. So if our relationship ever ends, I still can have the studio, and that's something that you guys show y'all token appreciation. Never happened. So from there, randomly,
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
How do they? What was there's always two sides to every story, right? What is their side to that
They gave
story?
me everything. I had more deals than anybody. I was making over $1 million every year with them. So they like, yo, bro, like your salary is like all the way here, and then you have song deals, and we're buying them from you for $45,000 a song. And you have an artist deal, you have a label. We just signed your artist. Like, what more do you want from us? And to me, I was like, the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
You're like, but you gave that guy more.
Exactly.
Right. That's
like,
what triggered you.
Because it's crazy to see. I'm like, yo, I've done #1 records. Like I did A Boogie, Look Back at It. We did that together. That was A Boogie's first #1 at radio. Meek Mill, Dangerous. We did that together. We did a bunch of records. I'm just like, yo, I want to know what the numbers look like how much y'all pulling in for that, because I know this is going crazy. But from there, I went and randomly went to see Ghazi, because I wanted to sign an act that I had, and Ghazi just started talking to me or whatever. We started building, and he was like, I thought you was coming up here to get a producer album deal. I'm like, no, I want to get my guys signed or whatever. And then he's like, well, what's your situation? And I told him my business or whatever, and then he like, nah, let's get you out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, me and Atlantic had got so much turmoil that it was like, I just had my lawyer hit him up and be like, what it's going to take for me to wipe my hands with this situation or whatever. Like, and then they gave me a number, and then we took care of the number, and and I left Atlantic.
Wow.
Now I'm vice president at Empire.
You really not afraid of change.
Nah. And it was like a lot of people were looking at me crazy, like, yo, you just made all this money with Atlantic. They put you in a studio. You have your whole operation going. You just going to leave and go to Empire? And I was like, I bet on myself before. I'm going to bet on myself again. And then the first record we actually did is the Young Blue record with Chris and 2 Chainz, which is about to go #1 now. And that's the first song I did off Empire.
It's definitely going to go #1.
So I'm excited about that.
Wow. So this is the beginning of a beautiful new relationship.
For sure.
And what does it look like 5 years from now? Where do you see this?
I mean, me and Ghazi deal is for 2 years. So, I mean, I don't know where in 5 years. Mike, ultimately, I want to be as big as L.A. Reid. I have the effect that on the game is all the big execs that I've looked up to. So, I mean, the partnership with Ghazi is pretty decent, because the numbers is way different. Like, I'm participating on different things that I couldn't participate with a corporate situation. So it's all love, man. I'm just taking it day by day. But I mean, ultimately 5 years from now, I'll be bigger than Craig Kalman. I'll be bigger than L.A. Reid. I'll be just as big or whatever, and I'll be calling shots and making hits and more records.
Did you were you able to kind of mend your relationship with Atlantic?
We did. I mean, we had a lot of success, so it wasn't like I hate you or we were beefing, but it was like, before I go into my label deal, because that's what was happening, I was going to transition and not be executive over there anymore and have my label deal. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Then COVID hit and all this stuff started happening. I'm like, yo, the communication is even more distant with COVID and all this other stuff. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna walk away. And I felt like Ghazi, the artists and all how many artists they have on that, like I'm gonna run through that building like how I ran through this building.
Right.
I've been running through it.
I just think it's a small it's a small business, a small world, and
for
relationships and what you do, everything kind of crosses.
But I'm kind of throwed off already though. I was signed to DMX, so Mike Kaiser and Julie and all them, they were at Def Jam so they've known me since I was 14 years old. Like I was able to grow with them. So like they know that I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me, you know what I'm saying? Because look where I've come from. Like, look at all the trials and tribulations I have to go through to be at this level. So if I'm not looking out for my best interests, I don't know who is. Besides my team, shout out to Billy, Tiffany, and everybody that's rock with me.
Good for you, man. That's exciting.
Nah, for real.
So now you got this new. So what is the process right now? So you got the new song right now.
Yeah, new single is featuring my song featuring Ty Dolla $ign and Queen Naija. My first song that I put out was called Thought Box, and I put all the girls on the record. It was Dream Doll, Dreezy, M.A., Young M.A., Mulatto, and Chinese Kitty, and that record ended up going gold. So that was with Atlantic. So now I'm putting out.
So are you in artist mode?
Yeah.
You kind of in art back. Is that different? Or you like?
Not really, because
you
I'm not
behave?
leaving here to do SOBs after or whatever.
Right.
But, like,
You're
I'm
not
just
doing the
here.
showcases?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm here. Here's my song. Oh, you like it? Thank you. Spin it at radio. Let's do that. Kiss the babies. Whatever we got to do, you know. But it's not extensive. I'm not leaving here getting in a turtle top or a sprinter and doing all that other stuff.
You're not hitting the road and all of that?
No. I'm hitting the studio. I'm gonna stay where my bread and butter is at for
It's
real.
working for you. Why would you change that?
Exactly.
So what about personally? How's your life personally? Because last time I saw you, I was trying to set you up with Solange, and that didn't work out.
Personally,
And then you done ran around town a little bit. You done ran around the town. Are you getting into grown man, settle down? I saw one thing that you said would be really hard to get a girlfriend because it's very hard with your success to know when somebody's really in it for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like I would like that. I think that everybody wants to have like a significant other or whatever, like, because the game is crazy and you don't want to just be having a bunch of roadkill and doing all this other stuff or whatever.
Is that what you call it? Roadkill? Yeah. No, don't applause that. Don't clap for that. It's nothing to be clapping for.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
what the hell?
It's hard though. Like, you know, like if you meet somebody on an elevated level and So
I thought you were gonna say if you meet somebody on the elevator. I was like, you meeting people on the elevator?
Nah, I mean I could, but like if you meet somebody and I'm already who I am, it's kind of hard to gauge if you really rock with me for. If all this comes off and all the records go away or whatever, is it really like that?
So you like, do you have trouble trusting people? Do you have trust issues?
Yeah, it's hard. You can't really trust these people out here. It's too much Instagram and it's too much stuff going on, and people motives aren't always the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like say anybody like Saweetie right now or anybody woman that's in a business. If she just meets a guy that's not on her level or something like that, she might be in her mind thinking like, well, maybe he wants me because I'm successful and I'm in the limelight and blah, blah, blah. So it's hard to trust on both sides of the field.
So why you don't just get with Saweetie?
Yeah, that would be fire.
Right?
Yo, Saweetie, come get this hit. We can start there. I ain't even gonna lie though. We already got a record together. I might be doing too much talking, but I'm executive producer of French Montana album, and we got a record. Yeah, we got a record with French,
and
Doja
Saweetie?
Cat, and Saweetie.
So when Saweetie came to the studio,
she didn't come. We had to send her the record. She was all the way in Paris. She
were you
cut her
disappointed that she didn't?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. I already see what's happening here.
Who wouldn't be? You know? Nah, but Saweetie, for real. No.
That's how you have to do it now. You have to kind of like see them ahead of time and make a decision. I would like to meet this person. She could be somebody on my level.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of do it that.
No. Me and Saweetie could see eye to eye. I like that. That's a good vibe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good vibe. That's a good one.
All right, I think we're gonna set this up. She's gonna be at Powerhouse, by the way.
I'll be at Powerhouse.
You should come.
Do the intro.
Come be our guest.
Yes, for real.
Saweetie will be there.
Yep.
Then we have like a backstage area where we do the interviews. And I'll schedule my Saweetie interview.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what time it's gonna be.
And I'll just slide through.
And you can just come through like, yo, what's up? And then we could see if
I'm gonna have my peoples bring a speaker and all that. I'm gonna have the aux. I'm ready or whatever. Like, here's the hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, hey, nice to meet you. Here's the hit. Yeah,
I made this for you.
No, for sure. I'm gonna go cook out. I gotta go cook out now for Saweetie.
Cook it up. I think this could be great.
Hey, yo, I like it. I like you playing matchmaker for me.
I like it too.
Both the girls are real solid.
Because I feel like you have really evolved, and I feel like you might actually be ready to be a little bit.
Keep putting that energy out there. Y'all hear it, ladies? Do y'all hear it? Yeah, I like that.
But tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
Okay.
No, we on the same page.
All right, this could be really cute. November 21st. At the Prudential Center in New Jersey. So we're gonna.
I'll be there. Yeah.
You said we're doing an EP.
I have an EP ready on my arrival.
I love this plan.
Yo, I like it though, because talking to you, she for sure gonna hear it, and even at the very least, we gonna have another hit. If we ain't lock in on that level, we gonna make some music. She gonna be like, yeah, it's time to make more records with Hitmakas.
I think this is a great idea.
Nah, I love this.
So we'll see you at Powerhouse
for sure. This shit, that might be better than me promoting my single. Hey, yo, look, it's Powerhouse. Yeah, we'll be there.
We promote the single. It's like a win-win. We promote the single. We potentially spark some love. Maybe Saweetie gets a couple extra hits. EP?
She gonna get the hits for sure, whether it's love or not. We gonna get an EP going for sure. It's about that time.
So how often do you have to go now to the studio? Like how often are you making these hits? Is this every day?
I'm executive producing Jim Jones' album, so when I leave here, I go finish.
Wait, you executive producing Jim Jones' album and French album?
I think I probably it's like 3 or 4 more. There's a bunch of new artists that I'm executive producing as well. I just executive produced Tink's album, which went crazy, top 10 at Billboard. Shout out to Tink, I love her. I'm executive producer of this girl Bree Steve's album, who's on Atlantic, so I'm still doing business with Atlantic as well. And all these people got hits, so I'm just waiting on them to come out. I'm really in autopilot mode. I'm all the way in 2022 right now, for real, because all them songs are done.
Your story is fascinating. Your career is fascinating.
Yeah.
And I wish you 10 more years.
Yo, thank you very much, yo.
You 20, right? You 20 in? Is that you're like 20 in, right?
Yeah,
I mean, starting from when you like
so I'm 20 in.
From iceberg to
I'm 20 years in.
Amazing.
A dub. Have some respect when y'all see me in these streets,
You
man.
better show this man some respect. We have one time for Hitmaker, everybody.
Yo, thank you for having me.
Power 105.1.